Thank you so much for joining me for that music intro. We are just jamming along to some copyright-free music. I had here my djembe. I have this beautiful set of claves. These are from Cuba, I believe. My mom brought them for me when she went on a trip. They're super beautiful. Usually just hold them like this, cup them. You get this lovely sound. And I have my triangle and of course my Latin percussion shaker. Yes, thank you so much for joining me for that. I hope that you were able to play along with us. You could have used your body, your hands, percussion, your body percussion, that kind of stuff. I'm always so amazed at how much we can make sound with our bodies. So thank you so much for that. I wanted to read you a couple of things to just get yourself inspired and excited to create with us today. So this is from a book. It's called Drumming the Spirit to Life. And I chose this piece here. It's called Magic and Drumming. Indigenous cultures the world over use rhythm to induce trance. The drum has been a tool of ritual and magic in many different cultures for thousands of years. The effect of this creative visualization called magic is really separate from the effects of the drum on the participants. In that sense, the drum is not a tool of any one type of ritual, but a versatile instrument that can be used in many different kinds of magic and spiritual ritual. Several ceremonial instruments are becoming popular here in the United States for drumming groups that are striving to find a magical ritual power through the drum. The Tingshash Symbols are from India, Tibet, and Nepal. These small symbols are cast in alloy of 7 metals, including silver, gold, tin, and other metals, to signify the different levels of reality in the Hindu religion. I have seen people gently hit these small symbols together just once and become spellbound with the pure overtones. In India, during the celebration of the goddess Kali, these symbols are played at a frantic pace along with drums and gongs, very different from how people savor each tone here. In India, this great cacophony is overwhelming to the participant, yet there is still a pulse underneath. It is a testament to the goddess of chaos, who is also the goddess of creation. The drum used is played with sticks, giving the players great speed and volume. The gongs and cymbals and shakers are on high frequency of confusion that befuddles the hearing, while the lower drums drive the beat at an incessant, maddening speed. The speed of the repeated pattern is faster than ritual patterns that are used in other indigenous cultures, but it is used for different reasons. The tempo of a raga in India is slower and more sedate, yet complex beyond the first hearing. The Native American ritual rhythm is slower, majestic in its simplicity, and very effective in connecting the consciousness to a meditative, slow cycle that emanates from the earth. In some respects, the pulses of the earth and the sky and elements dictate what rhythms and at what speed the ritual drumming is performed at any given place on the planet. In that sense, we are all affected by the inherent rhythmic patterns that occur in nature. We mimic them in our attempts to become more deeply connected to these elemental forces of nature. All right, just giving a bit of context in terms of drumming, I think sometimes we can think of drumming as an angry instrument. I read that earlier in the Instagram, but I connect to it almost like I connect to Mother Earth. I had this shift in consciousness around that, because I think at first I was at a lot of drumming communities where there's a lot of cis men who play drum, and you can sometimes have a lot of big energies that come around, and they're trying to show off their drumming. But I started to think of the drum as a connection to the earth and this rhythmic pattern that is all around us. I started to think of it as a connection to this idea, this archetype of the mother, and birthing, and that kind of thing, and that changed the way I thought about the drum. And so I also like to think about, when I am playing drums, to think about 3 different tones. I know it's not like a melodic instrument where you can kind of create melodies and things like that, but you can kind of create melodies with drums and percussion as well, because we have different tones. So you have this low bass tone that I like to think of kind of a grounding energy, security. If you know about chakras, like the root chakra is kind of activated with this lower tones. And then we have sort of this mid-tone, where I like to think about, your torso, your heart chakra, just like this mid-range in hearing. Sort of like these higher tones, you can kind of get them on this drum, but I also like to think of them, these higher tones, like the shaker, the triangle that I played. Sounds like that in your mouth, or with your voice, and this is sort of like a sound I kind of picture up here as a higher tone. And so I like to think about that, just like when I go into a drumming situation with other people, I want to connect with others and hear all the different levels in sound, and make sure that I'm not overpowering in one way or the other. So I just like to think about all those different colors in sound. I wanted to read you a poem now from the gift. Back into herself a billion times God has turned man and human into themselves. You stand in line for the highest gift, for their generosity cannot end. But best to bring an instrument along while waiting in the cold desert, and make some dulcet sounds to accompany the palms' swaying arms that are casting silhouettes against the sky's current from our fire. Remind the friend of your desire and great patience. A billion times God has turned human back into themselves. We all stand in line for the highest gift. Yeah, I just enjoy that poem. I like the image of bringing an instrument along while we wait in the cold desert. I was talking a bit about kind of going through a hard time myself personally. I don't know about you, but some days are good, some days are a bit harder to get myself motivated. So I've been kind of going up and down and feeling the sways and spirals of healing. But as I'm thinking about all this, as I'm kind of like annoyed or frustrated, just hearing about things that are happening in people's lives close around me, I also have been thinking about forgiveness. So forgiveness for myself, for, reacting sometimes when I mean to, when I'd rather respond lovingly, forgiving things that I've done to people, maybe forgiving myself for not always being on point or not being on top of everything. I think that we are all our own hardest critic, and so I like to think about forgiveness. I was also just kind of coming out of a pretty long relationship, and I know for myself, I think when you're out of that relationship is when you can see things in another light. And so I've been taking some time. I mean, we all go through different stages of processing, so I definitely went through an angry phase, but I'm kind of I was thinking in the past couple of days about forgiveness, like forgiving this person I was connected to, placing myself in their shoes, kind of understanding why they did the things that they did, or why this happened, and just kind of letting go of all of that. So I hope that is a bit of inspiration for you in your practice. I hope that you can create something, whether it is musically, or if you get into some dancing, or if you like to write and create as a response of all these images that we've talked about today. I'm going to sing you a little song. I'm moving this camera because I don't have the lyrics memorized. I just learned it. But this is a song by Jack Johnson, Better Together. So forgive me if it's not quite perfect. I also kind of haven't found the right key, potentially, for my voice. I kind of just sing it where he does. But we're going to try it together, hopefully. It's called Better Together. I don't know if I mentioned that. And I know maybe it's hard to hear better together when we can't really fully be with each other right now. But I want to say that we are still together. That even though we're not physically together, we are still connecting in this way. And I'm so proud of you for joining us and being a part of a community. I think we can, I've been seeing more people connecting socially distanced apart, so we can still connect with each other. We can connect to each other intellectually, psychically, energetically. There's all kinds of ways we can connect and be together, if that makes sense. So I hope you'll join me. Let's try that again. And yes, join me if you'd like. The chorus is, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, look at the stars when we're together. It's always better when we're together. That is basically it. I could put on the back of a postcard, a song that I could sing, that I could try for your heart. And our dreams are made out of real things, like a shoebox of photographs with sepia tone loving. Love is the answer, at least for most of the questions in my heart, like why we're here and where do we go and how come it's so hard. It's not always easy, sometimes life can be deceiving. I'll tell you one thing, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at the stars when we're together. These moments I find the way into my dreams tonight, but I know that I'll be gone when the morning light sings and brings new things. But tomorrow night you'll see that I'll be gone too many things I have to do. But if all these dreams might find their way to my day-to-day scene, I'd be under the impression I was somewhere in between. Just only two, just me and you, and so many things we like to do, or places we like to go. We'll sit beneath the mango tree. All right, so thank you so much for joining me for that little musical interlude or outro. That song is called Better Together by Jack Johnson. I tried my best there. I think I should have played it a little bit here, a little bit higher. I believe in memories, they look so pretty when I say, hey now, and when I wake up, you look so pretty, sleeping next to me. But there is not enough time, and there is no song that I could sing. There's no combination of words I could say, but I tell you one thing, we're better together. Alright, sorry. So I just played it in a different key, but I wanted to play that little bridge for you. So thank you for joining me for that. I hope that you could dance along or add your own little percussion to it, or just continue your art practice, whether it's visual art or whatever it is. I'm super happy that you could join me today. I go live every Friday at 11 Eastern Standard Time, first on the KSAC Instagram page and then on the Facebook page at 11:45 in Eastern Standard Time. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. It looks like it's going to be beautiful, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye now.